What's up, y'all? Smoo here, and we're gonna switch things up a little bit. I wanted to, obviously we're still on Pocket, but I wanted to just talk about my journey to Masterball, what I used to get there, what I'm currently using, and you know, it's gonna be a bit of like, I guess like a yap session type of vibe. But yeah, overall, I just wanted to just talk about some things. As you can see, I'm currently number 6,739, so I am in the top 10k as of recording this video. That being said, I probably will lose it by the end of the season because I'm going on vacation and I won't be playing as much as I have been. But I did manage to at least get the 2k points, and if we look at refresh rankings here, okay, so and my win rate is 51% now. It's fire. But you can see, like, number 1 is 7,000 points. Like, ridiculous, right? But, shout out to him, and shout out to everybody else that's also, like, has a lot of points, right? And so, yeah, I guess I'll just kind of just go in order of things that I was using before, or when the season first started, and then just talk about, yeah, the decks that I used, the mindset I had when playing, what made me choose certain decks over others, and things of that nature. And so, as you can see, I have quite a few decks. I probably should have cleaned this up beforehand, but as I said, we're just kind of just chatting. And so, Primarina was the first deck that I used when the season first came out. Now, I had went through this a few times and made changes. My first iteration, which I posted the video on, had 2 Sylveons. I realized that I probably don't really need 2 Sylveons. And that was so then I could add in some other support cards and stuff. I even tried Palkia out a little bit, but I took him off and put Vaporeon and another Eevee back on, because Vaporeon does at least hit for 70 here. I'm trying to see if I can, okay, yeah. Vaporeon hits for 70, so that's going to get the kill on Oricorio. That was like my main thing for having something here, even though you still kind of just lose to Oricorio, even if you do have something that kills it. Because the thing about Oricorio is, yeah, like, you can take out one somewhat, I won't even say easily, but it's very feasible to take out one Oricorio in a match. Taking out 2 Oricorios is like very difficult if you don't have more than one answer for Oricorio. And so, that being said, this deck worked for me, right? Like, I pretty much, and you know, this is my 3rd or 4th iteration of the deck, and it pretty much got me to Master Ball. So if you're sitting here thinking like, oh, I would love to use a water deck, I'm still not in Master Ball yet, try this out. I would take out Irida for an X speed, unless you really want the heals, but I found it, I didn't have Irida in this deck for the longest time, and I felt like the one card that I really would have liked to have had would have been X speed. I did try Leaf Out when I had Palkia in the deck, and I took it out because, you know, I just didn't care anymore. But I would replace Irida for X speed probably. I tried Misty too. Misty won me 1 game. But that's the thing about this deck is you don't need Misty to win. And I think that's very important. So as long as you have How in it, I think you're good. You can play around, maybe even taking out Sabrina or Cyrus. I think you need one of them for sure. I had Sabrina in here originally, but I think Cyrus is also a good play because the thing about Prim, it only does 100. And 130 with How, so a lot of people, they'll like, it's enough to do significant damage to force the Pokemon that's inactive to want to move out. And so Cyrus helps in those scenarios. But yeah, this is what I pretty much used to get to Master Ball. And I did like dabble with a couple different decks getting there, but even when like I was trying some new stuff and fell out of Master Ball, I would switch back to this and get Master Ball right away. So if you're trying to get the Master Ball, I would try some variation of Primarina. It's pretty good. It's not the best, and if you're in Master Ball trying to rank up in Master Ball, I don't think Primarina's the best thing to use. You can. I got up to like 1600s about, like I would float around like 1600s with Prim. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest using it long term, at least, if you want to throw it in your deck rotation, but I think it's a good idea, and we'll get to more into that type of conversation a little bit later. I think that's a good idea. Now, then I started changing my decks up a little bit, right? So I started using the Eevee deck a little bit. This one's cool. This is, you know, kind of standard what everybody else is kind of using. I didn't make any tweaks, I don't think, to this. Yeah, I think now some are using, like, I ran into one that was using Rocky Helmet. I was like, oh, okay. But the EV bags plus red combo can knock out quite a few guys. So this is pretty good. And then the Leafeon to hit the Oricorios is also really good. This is a solid deck. I'm not gonna rave too much about it because it got me a couple wins, but I didn't go on any major streaks with it. I guess maybe that's just my luck. So yeah, I would be switching between that and Charizard. And y'all already seen Charizard. Charizard, the GOAT. We got 5 wins our last game. I'm not sure if I had XP. I think I did have XP in that deck the last time. I'm trying to remember if I made any changes. I think, oh, I put Guzma in. I really like Guzma as a card. And, you know, you could argue that, like, Mars or Red card might be a little bit better. I think maybe a philosophy, at least the philosophy I like to follow when I'm building decks is, I need at least one form of disruption. I think the most popular form of disruption right now is Mars and Red card because it gets cards out of people's hands. But I would put Guzma in that category of disruption as well. And I think he's a good card. And you'll see, like, I really like using Guzma. He's a fun card to use for me. And it really works, right? Like, some people have the cape, or you don't want to get hurt by the barb or the Rocky Helmet, you Guzma it away. The leftovers from Solgaleos now, because Leo started picking up, because I think it, like, got 2nd place or something in a major tournament, and they use leftovers. Now, if they attach leftovers too early, which I have seen, you can Guzma it away, pretty much, right? And the only reason why they would attach it early is because they're scared of getting red carded or Mars. But you really aren't supposed to attach the leftovers until you're about to hit to make it matter. And so sometimes you might get lucky against what's it called if you use this. But yeah, Charizard, most people would say this is like the best deck right now. If anything, you know, I guess any takeaways, you just want to win a bunch of games, play Charizard. Just play Charizard. You'll hit Master Ball. You'll stay in Master Ball. You'll probably rank up in Master Ball. I do use this deck still sometimes. And so now we get to this portion where, okay, so I'm using Prim, I'm using Charizard, I'm using Leafeon. I think I even tried Rampardos a little bit. I'll show you all my Rampardos deck too. Pretty standard, nothing crazy here. Oh, this is my Garchomp version. I thought this was my, I think I might try this once. So I'll show it to y'all. But I didn't use this much. But I've seen other people using this as well. So I wouldn't say this is a bad deck or anything. But I can't necessarily co-sign it too much because I didn't use it that much. Now, we're getting to the part where, so I'm like 1600s, 1700s, and I started noticing patterns. And so I would notice that, like, maybe during, like, on my lunch break, I would see a lot of Oricorios playing. And then, like, at nighttime, there'd be more Charizards, and then early morning, Buzzwoles and Solgaleos and stuff. And so I noticed that certain times of the day, certain decks are stronger, right? And so, like I said, right, in the morning, if you know, and I wrote it down, I started writing down the decks I was seeing, right? And the deck I saw the most was Grantina, which, you know, it is kind of is what it is. But the other decks is what I would play for, right? Like, if I knew I was going to see a lot of, like, Solgaleo or Buzzwole in the mornings, like early mornings when I wake up, I would run Charizard, right? Like, it's going to go well, the fire is going to go well into the grass, it's going to go well into the steel or metal, whatever the type is technically called in this game. And so I started switching my decks up based off the time of day that I was playing, right? And so we got to a point where it's like, dang, I don't know what I can use to beat Oricorio, because even Rampardos, like, wasn't really doing it for me. And then I started seeing people run Guzzlord again. I'm like, wait, we run Guzzlord now? What the heck? And so I pulled out my Guzzlord deck. Very similar, like, way back last season, I was using this. I took out Team Rocket Grunt for Sabrina. I think it's just a better card overall. But Team Rocket Grunt was cool too. But this deck has been going stupid for me, especially against Oricorio. I body almost every Oricorio deck I find, right? And it's because of the Poison Barb plus Nihilego, right? You put both these guys in and barb something, they hit you, then they're gonna die the next turn because you Celesteela switch them in. Now, one thing I will say is I only have one Celesteela, which I will admit may be a little greedy of a choice by me. However, the only reason why I took out the second one was because, and I think I only was using one in the previous video, but maybe I don't know if I explained it, but I got into a lot of scenarios where I would only have 2 Pokemon out, and they're both Celesteela, and it only does damage off coin flip. No, we're not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'd rather not see Celesteela in a game than see 2 Celesteelas only in my game. And that's the only reason why I'm only running 1. Also, it gives me more slots to run more things, right? I have 3 items in my deck, right? 2 Poison Barbs and a Beast Type. Do not sleep on Beast Type. If you want to make any changes to the deck, I don't think you take out Beast Type. I think you leave Beast Type in. It is a super sleeper pick. Like, if anything, take one form of the hand disruption off. Maybe even Guzma, but I think Guzma is necessary too. So, if anything, I would take off, like, Red Card, maybe. But do not remove Beast Type. I think you need Beast Type. Beast Type is so sleeper. Like, people don't even expect it either. So they're like, oh, I'm 140 HP. I'm fine. But if you got 2 points already, put the Beast Type on, Guzzler hits you for 140. It's so good. So yeah, I would definitely recommend using this, especially if you're running into like a lot of Oricorios. I think this is really good for me. Like, there's probably some other things that you can use to help you with the Oricorio matchup, but I would definitely recommend this. This is a very good deck, and I had a lot of fun with it. This is pretty much what got me up to 2200s. I was floating around the 1800 range, then I started getting 5 win streaks, 7 win streaks. Like, I started going crazy with this deck. So I definitely recommend using Guzzlord right now. But yeah, so one other thing that I was trying to use, and I'm trying to find it here, and this is still in the testing phases, and honestly, probably isn't that good, but it did get me a couple wins, and this is Decidueye. I was like, why are people not using Decidueye? And it's actually really good, but this was also, like, I guess on the way to me finding my Oricorio answer, because the small Decidueye does 70 to anything on the bench. So it's like, even if they don't have Oricorio in play, you can just kill it if he doesn't have a cape, right? And so now we're getting to the conversation of, should I have had Guzma in here? I didn't throw it in there. And this deck still needs some tweaking. Like, it's okay, but I started running into a lot of Charizards again. So I'm like, okay, like, I can't run this deck because it's too many Charizards. And I did win a game against a Charizard, but they bricked, right? And so you're getting into the, if you can get lucky enough where your opponent bricks, you definitely win. But this is still pretty cool though. I have the Leafeon in here to help me ramp up the Decidueyes in the back as well, just give me another attacker, because I realized I only had the 2 Decidueyes because Sylveon was not meant to be an attacker. And so then I threw in Leafeon pretty much. But yeah, this deck is pretty cool. If you wanted to try something like different, I have not seen people talk about Decidueye at all, especially with how, like, everybody talked about Incineroar. I was using Primarina with it, but no one talks about Decidueye, and it does work. It only works if you hit the person inactive with Howl, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I guess maybe like a slight recap. You don't have to use the super top meta decks to win games, right? Like I said, like I didn't play Solgaleo. Here, did I even update my Solgaleo deck? Okay, no, this isn't the right Leo deck. You need Magearna in this. So yeah, like this is not, don't use this. Don't copy that. Find somebody else's. But I didn't use Solgaleo. I don't have do I even have a Giratina deck in here? I don't have Giratina. Oh wait, is this Giratina? Okay, this is some other stuff I was trying before, but I didn't even try that, right? Like, so you don't have to, I don't have a Greninja deck. You don't have to use Greninja. You don't have to use, at what everybody else says they're using. But what I will say is like, those using like the stronger decks will make it a little bit easier for you to win. But you also gotta understand that you don't need to use those strategies to always hit Master Ball. Like I said, I hit Master Ball playing Primarina, right? And Primarina is mid at best, like. And I mean, shout out to my girl. I love Primarina, but this is not the best Pokemon, right? But I still was able to hit Master Ball using it. And so I think more than anything, takeaways here. 1, use what you like. You're gonna, if you play enough and play smart enough, you'll be able to hit top rank, at least Master Ball. Now, if you want to get further into Master Ball, then you might have to start using some things that play a little bit better into the metagame. But you gotta understand that leading up to Master Ball, the metagame is totally different than what it is in Masterball. You're gonna see a lot of random stuff. Like I was watching Yang's video, and he's like almost everybody he fought played Penny. I have yet to fight somebody that uses that card in Masterball. So it's like you're gonna see different things depending on the level that you're at. And I probably will make a different video talking about metagames and stuff, like in I guess my thoughts on that. But don't feel so pressured to have to use the best thing because your favorite content creator told you that it was the best deck. You don't have to do it, right? And so that's the one thing. Two, don't be scared to dive back into some of the older stuff. Like I said, like Guzzlord was really, really good for me. I definitely, like, if anything, any takeaway, if and this video isn't use this deck to rank up. That's not what this video is. The video is me talking about, you know, just the things that I did, the strategies that I used, which was changing my decks based off of the time of day and to counteract what I've been seeing in my games, right? And so pay attention to what you're playing against and pick a deck that will play well into the things that you're seeing a lot of. And so if you're struggling against Oricorio, for example, rip this deck like bar for bar. Like I said, you can take out a red card or a Mars to add your other Celesteela or whatever other tech card, maybe another PCL, whatever. I think you should leave Beastite in. I think you should leave Guzma in. I think, and then obviously the rest of these are like kind of crucial. But maybe even take a Poison Barb away. I don't know. But this is a really good deck if you're like struggling against Oricorio. If you want to use like Silvally Ramp, that's also a good deck, I guess, maybe. But yeah, you can use whatever you want. And I just wanted to highlight that I was able to hit Masterball not using Grentina, not to like flex that as like an achievement or anything, but just to show that, you know, you can use different things and still rank up and hit the max rank. Because my goal isn't really to be number one, right? I am top 10k, but that's not necessarily my goal. I'm only playing it so that I can get the max amount of pack hourglasses, right? And so for those people that want to hit Masterball to get the reward, the rank rewards, you know, try some of the things that I've done, pay attention to the decks you're running into, and, you know, pick different decks according to that. I think that's pretty much it though. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all liked. If you know, the Yap session type videos or more y'all speed, y'all like these types of videos, please let me know in the comments. If you don't like them, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. GG. Please like, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.